I always say that a vital piece of movement is good music, and we're lucky enough to be blessed by the presence of a great musician, artist, and activist. And the community sector loves activists as they're the only ones that change the world. Ziggy Ramo is a singer and songwriter known for his lyricism and storytelling ability. The son of an Aboriginal and Solomon Islander father and a mother of Scottish heritage, Ziggy's experiences with racism in Australia have led him towards activism, both in his music and in the wider world. Through his music, Ziggy aims to tell the story of Australia's true race history so that we can move forward and find answers that will help us improve. Ziggy captured the attention of the Australian public and myself with his single Little Things, a heartfelt update of Paul Kelly's From Little Things, Big Things Grow, which put forward a First Nations perspective on invasion, intergenerational trauma and deaths in custody. Ziggy and his partner had a baby last week, so big congratulations on that. And also on your activism.
Thank you so much for the warm welcome. My daughter actually is in the NICU department at the moment, so that's been very challenging. She's a week old today, and I think it's given me a lot of perspective of what I have lived through and what I'm sure will be ahead of her to endure. And it's not something I want her to live through, but I'm also not naive to the space in which we occupy. And a lot of the time when I think I speak of an acknowledgement to country, there is reflection on what has been done, but I think I would also like to acknowledge what is continued and what we have allowed to continue, because we are at the precipice of talking about a treaty, but that hasn't happened. Not to say that we don't remain hopeful and we don't keep our position of carers for both people and country. But I'd like to acknowledge that that optimism also has to be followed with action. And we need to be at the centre of that action, because good intentions don't always equate to good outcomes, especially when our voices, our self-determination and autonomy has been removed. It's heavy because the truth is our history is heavy. To deny that weight is to deny the truth. And I hope that we as a people and as countries have the strength to deal with that heaviness, because the longer we ignore it, the heavier it becomes. And that weight on individuals like myself and people within my community becomes almost unbearable. And it is not something that I would like to pass down to my daughter. This song that I'm going to play for you is called Little Things. It is a perspective that I have both had the privilege and burden of carrying, but I hope that by sharing it, it allows an insight or a alternative to maybe things you have been taught otherwise. because this change that I desire for my daughter is one that we collectively must come together and address. Since 1991, 441 Indigenous Australians have died in custody. They're casualties of a war that never ended. But we are not yet defeated. Always was. Always will be. Sovereignty was never ceded. Thank you all so much for holding space for me to be able to share that. Although at times it can be a lot to carry, what we carry, being able to share it sometimes alleviates a little bit of that weight. The one thing that I would ask of you leaving is to have a quick look at the number of deaths in custody. I wrote this song kind of at the end of 2020, start of 2021. And when I wrote that song, the number was at 441. So to be under the illusion that things have stopped is one I would ask you to consider. So if you wouldn't mind becoming an active member, I ask you to educate yourself on what that number is now. Thank you all so much. I hope you have a lovely and nourishing time here. It's been a privilege to be able to share with you. So thank you so much.